wabarakatuh, and a very good day to everyone. We are from Group 3. Today we are going to explain our experiment for which is backpack distillation. Okay, now I'm going to introduce my group members, which is the first one, Muhammad Nur Hadif. The second one, Tarunan Jayakumar. The third one, Abdul Rahman Shahir Yakutin. The fourth one, which is me, Muhammad Nur Salam. And the last one, Tan Kin Han. Now we are going to move to the introduction of this experiment. This experiment is separated into three parts, which is the first one, we are going to prepare a calibration curve of the ethanol and water mixture. The second part of this experiment, which is we are going to carry out the distillation experiment at a constant reflux, which means there is no distillate exists at the distillation column. And the third part of this experiment, distillation is carried out with a constant reflux, where distillates are allowed to exit the distillation column at certain reflux ratio. And next, a set of constant reflux is predetermined with a constant heater power are set. Then, all the top and bottom products are collected and their refractive index are measured at regular interval. We are going to use the refractive spectrometer to measure the refractive index. And last but not least, distillation unit exploit the relative volatility of the mixtures to separate them into distillate and bottom products. Now we are going to move to objective of this experiment. The first objective is we have to prepare a calibration curve for the ethanol water mixtures that we are going to use to measure the concentration. And the second objective of this experiment is to determine the head of equivalent theoretical plate of the distillation column at total reflux. Third one, examine change in top and bottom composition as well as HETP over time at constant reflux. And the last one, we have to carry out mass balance on the distillation unit.
Hello, my name is Abdul Rahman Shahir. So I will present about the theory of the experiment. Firstly, usually this equipment used for separation of mixture and as Mohler pressure. And the next theory is this equipment is silver coated and vacuum jacket collar to reduce the heat loss. And the next theory is the vapor has to rise through the packing which before being condensed by the condenser at the top. And the next is an ideal case which is rarely seen in actual column. The rising vapor will attempt to achieve equilibrium with the liquid. So the next theory is the more volatile component will have lower boiling point, causing it to vaporize more easily compared to the less volatile component. So the next theory about the experiment is the more volatile will exit at the top of as distillate in vapor phase, while the less volatile component will exit at bottom as in liquid phase. So the efficiency of the distillation column is characterized by height of equivalent theoretical plate or HETP. So this is the formula to find the HETP, which is height of the column divided by the number of theoretical plate required. So I will move to the methodology of this experiment. So let's watch this video.
Before start the experiment, we need to prepare the calibration curve. A set of mixtures containing ethanol and water is prepared within a specified range of composition. For each mixture, obtain the refractive index reading by using the refractometer. For the first experiment, when distillation unit reached stable condition, temperature of the top and bottom is being recorded. Collect the sample from the distillate and bottom product. Measure the refractive index for both samples. Change the heater power setting in W1 and W2 and wait about 10 minutes to allow the distillation unit achieve the stable condition. Repeat the experiment with different heater power setting, which is 80%, 60%, 40% and 20%. For second experiment, set heater power to 70%. After reach stable condition, record the top and bottom temperature. Collect sample from the distillate and bottom product. Measure the refractive index for both samples. Set the reflux divider to auto and wait for 10 minutes. Collect samples from distillate and bottom product and measure their refractive index. Measure the distillate flow rate by taking the time required to get 50 ml of distillate. And repeat the experiment for 1 hour with 10 minutes time interval.
Hello everyone, my name is Jin Han. Now I'm going to discuss about the result of batch pack distillations. First of all, we need to know the calibration curve by using different amount of ethanol and water in this experiment to get a calibration curve. The function of calibration curve is to convert the refractive index from the refractometer to the number of mole. Besides, we can know that the molecular weight of ethanol is 46.07 gram per mole and molecular of water is 18.02 gram per mole. This brings to a molar volume of 58.39 ml per mole of ethanol and 18.05 ml per mole of water. And this is the calibration curve, which is a linear line with an equation of y equals to 0.0249x plus 1.3449. Okay, now we move on to experiment A under a total reflux conditions. This table shows data obtained from a total reflux condition by the batch pack distillation column. In this experiment, we are conducting the batch pack distillations with different heat power from 20 to 100, 20, 40, 60, 80 to 100. Okay, to find the number of stages which represents an HETP, we're using McCabe method. For example, in a total reflux condition, the operating line always is under the 45-degree line. Now we use XD and XV from 100% heater power, which is XD equals to 0.3695 at here, and XB equals to 0.6884 at here. So by using McCabe method, we can see that at 100% of heater power, the number of stages is 2. Now we will plot the HETP vs heater power graph. The result is the heater power will not affect the HETP of the experiment. And now I move on to experiment B under constant reflux conditions. In this experiment, using 60 minutes of interval. For each minute of interval, we will get the amount of top product and the bottom product. By doing this, we can get the XDOR plus 1 value under a total reflux condition, under a constant reflux condition of 1, which is this value, to plot the operating line in the McCabe method. For example, at initial time, XDOR plus 1 is equals to 0.2781, which is the y-intercept in the McCabe graph. By using the XD and XP value of the initial time, we can calculate the number of stages, which is 1 for the initial. Okay, now we can get the HETP over time graph. It's obvious that we can see when the time goes on to 60 minutes, the HETP is dropped from 1120 to 560. Besides, we can know the distillate and bottom products amount over time. From this graph, we know that the amount of distillate increased along the time, however, the amount of bottom decreased along the time. Now, to calculate the ethanol amount in reboiler, you need to plot the graph of 1 over 1 y minus x, where y is the distillate fractions and x is the bottom fractions, to know the area under the graph, which we use in Rayleigh's equation later. In this graph, we break down this graph to two trapeziums, trapezium 1 and trapezium 2. The trapezium 1 gives an area of 0.23641 and trapezium 2 gives an area of 0.19346, and the total area is 0.4299. By using this area, we move on to Rayleigh equations, which shows by this integral. We know that the n at the interval is equals to the n at the previous interval divided by the exponential of the area under the graph. Now I will show how to calculate the amount of ethanol in reboiler by using Rayleigh equation. Before this, you need to understand the number of mole of ethanol in the initial time, which we calculate by using 4.5 liter over the molar volume, which is 58.39 milliliter per mole, times the conversion factor of 100 milliliter per liter, and we can get 77.0679 moles. Now, to calculate the number of mole of ethanol at the time equals to 10 minutes, we will use the equation 77.0679 moles, which is the initial number of mole of ethanol, divided by the exponentials of the area under the graph, 0.4299, which is equals to 50.1384. By doing this for every intervals, we can get a result of the amount of moles of ethanol in the reboiler. Generally, the number of moles of ethanol in the boiler will decrease along the time. Now, I will move on to the last objective of this experiment, which is the mass balance calculation. We know that the initial reboiler volume is 15 liter with an initial ethanol composition of 0.9923, which come to a final conditions of reboiler volume of 14.61345 liter after all the distillate and bottom product and top product which being removed from the reboiler. We can get a reboiler composition for ethanol of 0.1944 and distillate volume of 0.413 liter and its composition of 0.6767. By using all this data, we can continue to the mass balance, which is feed equals to distillate plus bottom, F equals to D plus B. However, to understand the mass balance, we need to know their compositions, which represents by FXF equals to DXD plus BXB. So we know all those values, and now we can calculate for the feed compositions, which is 0.413 liters times 0.6767 compositions plus 14.61345 liter, which is the final reboiler volume, times with 0.1944 divided by the initial volume of 15, we can get 0.2080. This is the compositions of the feeds. Now we will continue with the percentage error by using a modulus of the experimental value minus the theoretical value over theoretical values times with 100%, and now we can get a percentage error of 60.03. This is actually quite a number of percentage error which is due to the weakness of this experiment.
Hi, I'm Tarugan, and I'm going to talk about the discussion of this experiment. This experiment is divided into two parts. The first part is distillation at total reflux, and the second part is distillation at constant reflux. Distillation at total reflux is all the distillate is recycled into the column. And now let's have a look at the discussion of this experiment A. According to the results, the effective column height of this experiment is 1120 millimeter throughout the experiment. Height equivalent theoretical plates, which is HETP, can be calculated by dividing effective column height with the number of theoretical plates. Number of theoretical plates can be determined by using McCabe theorem method at XY equilibrium diagram for ethanol water system at 1 ATM graph. This is the graph which can be used for McCabe theorem method. And here shows how we can get two theoretical states. From HETP versus power heater graph, we can see that when heater power increases, the HETP value remains constant. This shows that the HETP value doesn't rely on power heater. And now let's have a look at the experiment B, which is distillation at constant reflux. According to the results, HETP value remains constant at 1120 mm until 40 minutes and decreases to 560 mm at 50 minutes and remain constant henceforth. This shows that the number of theoretical plates can increase with time, and the composition of ethanol increases in distillate while decreases in bottom as time goes. This can be seen from the second graph in this slide. This shows that the purity of the distillate increases, which will help in obtaining the desired products. And from the results of the Rayleigh equation shows that the amount of ethanol in the reboiler decreases as time goes. This is because only certain amount of ethanol is recycled into the column. So the amount of ethanol will be decreasing as time goes. As a conclusion, the distillation at constant reflux shows more significant changes in the composition of ethanol in distillate. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Hanif, and today I will be presenting about the error and recommendations for this experiment. I will also be concluding this presentation. Okay, so first, for the error and the recommendation, we have found that during the time we were doing this experiment, we have found several errors, one of them being the parallax error. Parallax error happens when your eyes are not at the same level with the readings of the scale when you're taking it. So to overcome this error, we must make sure when we are taking a reading, we must make sure our eyes are in line with the scale, so we may get an accurate reading of any particular readings that we want to take. Okay. So next type of error that we found is systematic error. This happens when there is an inaccurate calibration of the refractometer for this experiment in particular. So to overcome this error, we must ask the technician's help to make sure that the refractometer has already been calibrated. If not, we must ask him to calibrate the refractometer. Okay. Next is the mechanical error. Mechanical error happens when temperature fluctuates during the experiment. Okay. So the recommendation is we must insulate the apparatus used to prevent the loss of entropy and heat to the surrounding. Now lastly, human error. It's the inexact flow reading taken by us humans. So to overcome this, we recommend installing a digital flow meter in the instrument to get an accurate flow rate measurement. And now I will be concluding the experiment. For the first part of the experiment, we found that the heater power affects the number of theoretical stages and height of equivalent theoretical plates, or HETP. Now for the second part of the experiment, the number of theoretical plates and HETP can increase with the passage of time. However, for a short period of time, the effect is considered to be absent. Now the composition of ethanol distillate increases with time, but we found that the ethanol in the reboiler shows an opposite trend. Okay. Now we have two types of operations in this experiment. One being the constant reflux and the total reflux. This the method of operation will determine the composition of ethanol in the end. So we found that the operation with constant reflux is seen to be more effective to obtain a higher purity of ethanol in the distillate. So that's all we can conclude from this experiment. Yeah? This is our references for this experiment. That is all for our experiment. Thank you very much.